Hello and thank you for downloading Witness on the BBC World Service with me, Frances Harrison. And today I'm taking you back to 2009 and the immediate aftermath of Sri Lanka's long civil war against the Tamil Tiger rebels. It's the 8th of July 2009 and a group of surgeons are being produced at the Defence Ministry's Media Centre.
5 doctors who worked in Sri Lanka's combat zone during the last days of the civil war say they exaggerated the number of civilian casualties at the time under pressure from the Tamil Tiger rebels.
The doctors, who've come straight from detention to the press conference, are lined up on the stage in front of government supporters and a handful of international journalists, among them the BBC correspondent Charles Haviland.
These 5 doctors have been in CID detention since mid-May. What they are now saying is what the government has said all along. They said the Tamil Tigers would force them to overstate casualty figures. Now, in peacetime, it's not clear under how much government pressure the medics are speaking.
While in the war zone, the doctors had reported on thousands of civilian casualties caused by government shelling. But on the 8th of July 2009, they give an account that totally exonerates the Sri Lankan military and paints the Tamil Tigers, or LTTE, in a dreadful light.
There are a lot of people got injured during the crossfire. And on the other hand, the LTT also suit began from the civilians who are trying to escape.
This doctor's name is Turiraja Varadaraja. He's saying that the Tamil Tigers, or LTTE, exaggerated the casualties as part of the propaganda battle.
In my case, in Pudumathalam hospital, if the wounded people come around 10-15, the LTT people ask to toll around 60-70 like that. But they put the internet without our knowledge, they put the number more than 1,000, 1,500 like that.
This was a war without independent observers, no international journalists or aid workers. The Sri Lankan government had ordered them all out of the war zone just as the fighting escalated. The doctors, Tamil civil servants posted by the central government to rebel areas to run the hospitals there, became the most trusted source of news for the world's media, and a major embarrassment to the Sri Lankan government, which claimed theirs was a zero civilian casualty war. Looking back 6 years later, Dr. Varadaraja remembers that press conference as the worst moment of his life.
We felt guilty because we say the wrong information to the media when we are in the media conference. So we forced to say lie. More than 40,000 were killed during the war zone. Then we changed our story. So really we upset and we felt very sad and guilty.
The UN now says 40,000 civilians may have been killed in Sri Lanka in the bloody climax of the civil war in 2009. Another UN report says it could be as many as 70,000. On several occasions, Dr. Varadaraja narrowly escaped with his life, as every makeshift clinic was shelled. On the 12th of May, he spoke to the BBC about what happened.
Today morning around 7:40, there are one cell fallen into the hospital. 29 deaths and more than 86 people again got injury and death. There are heavy shelling continue up to now. So the doctors and staff, they couldn't work there because of the fear.
The wounded lay on mats in the open air, covered in flies, their saline drips hanging off a large tamarind tree. The doctors used tree branches as splints for broken bones, economised on anaesthetic and reused the patient's own blood, transfusing it back into them. Often Dr. Varadaraja just had to leave patients requiring lengthy surgery to die. Some were pregnant women.
We took the hard decision to let them to die. I have several experiences like that. If we are thinking now, we know that the life, how is affected is one man or one people die from one family, the whole family the setup will damage. I'm thinking now is very hard to me. It's very trauma. But we took such a decision during the war zone.
On the 15th of May 2009, Dr. Varadaraja stepped out of the hospital building to get some water.
I feel very thirsty and hungry. I just walk. 10 feet in front of me, I saw some flashlight. Suddenly
Something exploded?
Yes, blood one cell. I got 4 injury actually. I got one in my right shoulder and 3 small injury on my abdomen.
And this was a shell exploding just
Yeah.
10 feet away from you?
Yes, very, very close to me. Then other doctors came to me. They turned me, then I found bleeding from my mouth and nose. I lost of sensation on my right arm. I thought my arm was separated, totally separate from my body. I thought I'm going to die within 5-6 minutes. That time only I thought my wife and my child, I never going to see them.
Within hours of the shell attack, the army captured the hospital, and despite being the district medical officer and being badly injured, Dr. Varadaraja was taken into detention. His arm was paralysed with nerve damage, and he had a litre of blood in his lung.
My bone got septic, produced pus. Then I was start the fever, and it was very serious condition. So I couldn't sleep, I couldn't breathe, shivering. It was almost like septic fever. So I request them to brought to the hospital to show the doctors and get some immediate treatment. Then I can come to the head office. They said head office, they didn't mention the 4th floor.
The 4th floor being
in Colombo.
Being the most notorious detention place in Colombo.
Yeah, very torturous place. I really upset, and I don't think they will bring me to the 4th floor because I have no any connection with any. I did not do any bad thing or any terrorist activity or any murder.
Inside the 4th floor detention centre, all the doctors were threatened with years in jail and their families harassed. But Dr. Varadaraja was also refused critical surgery for his arm until he agreed to participate in the press conference. He remembers elaborate preparations, including being measured for smart new shirts and ties before being sent to the press conference.
They said nearly most of the people may come from the government support medias. So we know what type of question they are going to ask.
Most of the journalists would be government supporters.
Government supporters. Then we know what the question they are going to ask, and we already prepare for the answer according to the question. So like the exam or test, we know what question going to ask, but we have to tell them.
So you were totally prepped for this press conference, and the questions were pre-organised.
Yes. And
who prepped you?
The military intelligence.
Military intelligence were so happy with the doctors' performance that they gave them a treat before returning them to their cells.
They took us to the KFC. And
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. They gave some chicken and some soft drink. They was very happy actually.
So it was a reward.
Yeah. Then we were there. Then earlier he was promised after the first conference we may release within 1 week, but they released I think 3 weeks later.
It took the doctor and his family years to escape Sri Lanka. He's still haunted by the war. At night, when he sees his daughter sleeping, he says it reminds him of all the dead children he saw, and he has to go and check she's still breathing. Talking about what he witnessed often makes him want to cry, but he feels he has to keep on making amends for the day when he was forced to lie. That's it from this edition of Witness with me, Frances Harrison. For details of our complete range of downloads and our terms of use, go to bbcworldservice.com/podcasts.